Okay, done.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Gopi, do you mind muting yourself, please? Thank you. Over to you, Dada.
Yeah. I am not getting the got it. I am not too yes. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, Dada.
Yes. Now you are getting the voice.
Yes,
Yes.
we are very clearly.
Good. So we had last time done a session with a few of the revision, and that revision we had done it little half of it. Now today we'll finish it. And that revision, we had done one sutra, Drashyam Shariram. As per the Śāmbhav Upāya, when the yogi is realized as the Śāmbhava Samavesh, that is Shivatva, he has a universal consciousness. His vision is limited to the physical body and is extended to the totality of oneness with the universe. The Aham is equal to Idam. There is no difference between this and that. So there is no dualism. The entire perceived world is his self, or his own body is just an object to him. The Shiva consciousness pervades everywhere, right from the tiniest insect to the humans. It is a play of universal consciousness. The realized person, with his ignorance, cannot realize the totality of the consciousness, but his vision is fragmented, and in dualism, he observes the differences in persons to persons as to color, creed, caste, rich, poor, and treats them differently. He limits himself up to his own body and becomes selfish, limited to his body. This generates an ego and thrown to the Maya or illusion of differences. Vedic systems do not allow lower caste and women to read Vedas, whereas the Tantra system do not see the differences of caste, creed, male and female. Everyone is treated on the same level so that the universal realization could be easy. So here we have up to now seen what the yogi has realized, and he has got universal consciousness. But for ordinary persons, how it is possible? So the next sutra says, Sutra 15, Hridaya Chitta Sangatad Drishya Swapadarsanam. Hridaya does not mean the physical heart, but it is a light of consciousness, that is Chit Prakash. As I have analyzed this sutra initially from the viewpoint of an unrealized person, to overcome his svabhava, temperament, deluded in Maya, that is illusion and cognitive faculties only understood in a limited way up to the mind, intellect and the ego level, to come out from this external limited consciousness, this sutra portrays a path of sadhana. Here the sadhana fixes his mind, consciousness and cognitive consciousness at a one-pointed consciousness without the thought construct. Here he realizes his own weaknesses, Maya and three gunas, and understands his behavior, his expectations and dreams. All he has to identify and control the same. He has to sit quietly, and that is called as Sarasana. In our puja, we are knowing this when we are sitting on the asana, we always call Sarashanaya Namaha. So Sarasana, we are taking a physical asana, but here it is says the asana is fixing a mind at a one point. That is Sarasana. Sarasana is one-pointedness of the mind. That is Sarasana. So in puja, we are always saying Sarasanaya Namaha. The firm seat of mind is not a physical seat. In Padmasana or Sukhasana, etc., this is a mental seat of one-pointedness. Then one-pointedness is conquered. His willingness, by all his willingness, when his mind settles at Siddhasana, when he achieves the one-pointedness, he gets Siddhasana. He gets, that is called a self-realization. When self-realization happens, that he understands his own self very well, and that is called, he gets that siddhi of asana. That is called Siddhasanaya Namaha. We used to call in the position, and only when he rests at Virasana, which is explained in the next sutra, when we will do Vira Asana. What is Vir? Vir is the person who has conquered the universal consciousness. Now, I will explain one of the answers which I had half explained to Tejal Shukla. Is a tantric philosophy says the Shiva has created both the opposites, sukh, dukh, happy, sad, good behavior, bad behavior, growth, calmness, lobh, to get. Lobh means to get anything, unattached to the thing. He is not bothered if he is not lobby. The goodness and the proudness, love and hatred, and some of the sadhus, even Jain sadhus, wants to eradicate bad gunas or virtues by force, but it is not possible. Even Durvasa Muni had an anger. So how can we conquer it? The Tantra path says both are the creation of Shiva. With the help of sadhana, one can control but cannot be eradicated. So all the two angles always remains angle, but only it is our choice which to be used. Of that, even the Shankaracharya has done a Shankar Vijay by establishing only Shiva state, and can be achieved by negation of the Maya and the worldly activities, and written Nirvana Shatakam, Bhajagovindam, etc. But he lately realized that physically it is not possible, one has to accept the reality. He had surrendered to the goddess, and he has written Saundarya Lahari, Bhavani Stotra, Annapurna Stotra, and many others, and established Sri Yantra at all his bhattans. So you cannot say, you cannot divide the worldly things, you cannot divide the creation of Shiva. So Tantra philosophy says accept everything. Only it is our matter of choice. What you have to first choose for your decision, goodness or badness, to do good to others, etc. That is our own freedom. Now the thing comes, 16 number of Sutra. Shuddha Tattva Sandhanad Apashu Shakti. Shuddha Tattva Sandhanad Apashu Shakti. The former sutra states for the self-realization by an internal purification. Now this sutra deals with how to deal with the external universal realization of our consciousness. Here it is presupposed to have been out of Maya. When a sadhak is out of Maya, means formerly he was bound like a bound animal, that is Pashu. But after coming out from the Maya, he is unbound animal called Apashu Shakti. Means he becomes free of Maya. So he says Shuddha Tattva Sandhanat Apashu Shakti. He is free from Maya. Shuddha Tattva is a pure Tattva, which is obtained by freedom of karma bandhan. That is, the ego is diluted to a zero level. Shuddha Vidya, that is, we are calling in Tattva as Shuddha Vidya. Freedom from the web of thoughts. In what we say the Tattvas, we say Ishvara Tattva, and freedom from emotions. So we can say in Tattva as Sadashiva Tattva. And finally, to the Shakti and the pristine Shiva Tattva, which is the purest of all. Here he attains the Atma Gyan, self-realization. So this is the procedure of doing the self-realization. Sutra number 17 says, Vitarka Atma Gnanam. When a sadhaka understands his limiting condition and comes out from it, then he understands the vimarsha aspect of the awareness of his own true nature, that is Svabhava, which helps him to realize the nature of Shiva. This is the supreme unfolding of the intuitive awareness of the pure self. Vigyan Bhairav, verse 102 says, on this context, the Supreme Lord is all awakening, that is omniscient, all-doing, omnipotent, and all-pervading, that is omnipresent. The yogi thinks, myself is one with the Lord because aspects of the Shiva are my aspects. My attentive meditation on this one becomes one with the Shiva. So we can say it is a Shiva's consciousness. So all the powers of Shiva comes to the sadhaka. So when it comes to the sadhaka, how he will be happy. So he says on Sutra 18, Lokananda Samadhi Sukham. Ordinarily, all human beings enjoy the external objects of the world. The external world is called as one loka or a space. Therefore, he sees external objects as external. When he is in a meditation, he switches off the external objects of the world and tries to perceive the internal as an internal object. This is normally done by the sadhaka. When he is meditating, he disconnects the external world. But when the yogi, in a parastate, he enjoys in balanced view that the internal subject, that is the consciousness of the external objects of the world, becomes one with his own entity. So there is nothing like internal and external both get coincided. And that is a non-dual or param advaita. Samadhi sukham does not mean a trance, but it is to be understood as a continuous mindfulness of a knowership. The subject and the object becomes the same. That is, I is equal to this. I am this. Aham Brahmasmi. Ananda is a bliss on this state. So here the concept of bliss has come. So next sutra will explain what is that bliss. The 19th sutra says, Shakti Sandhane Sharirotpati. A yogi is a possessor of power of freedom according to his svabhava. That is the nature we have seen at the sutra on Ichha Shakti Uma Kumari, as an absolute willpower. What is Ichha Shakti? Is a willpower. This power of will, knowledge and action depends on his own svabhava or nature of freedom. These energies are associated with the body consciousness. Sandhane means united with. It means if the Shakti is not united with body, cannot be created. At this state, either a yogi has a power of will to create the body of his choice. He can create his own choice by his willpower and his choice. The introverted energies of awareness can create the body to redevelop in the light of the consciousness. So everything is done by consciousness. Now I'll tell you my experience. In the month of July 1984, I was going to Hyderabad, and my Guruji gave me a packet of sweets to be given to Sri Krishnanandanatha. I met him, and he had the power to remain present at two different places at the same time. And I had occasion to meet him, and it's a very nice time with him, and he also explained so many things to me. So one of the things that how one can create the different body by himself. So the sutra number 20 says, Bhuta Sandhana, Bhuta Pruthakatva, Vishva Samghatta. So these three things are separately explained by me. Bhuta Sandhan. First of all, what is Bhuta? Bhuta is interpreted in 5 elements of the nature. They are ether or air element, ether or sky element, ether or sky element, air element, fire element, water element, and earth element. They are represented by sound as it belongs to the sky element, which is grasped by our ears. Touch is also belongs to the air element, which is grasped by the skin. Sight as it belongs to the fire element, which is grasped by the eyes. And taste as it belongs to the water element, which is grasped by the tongue. A smell as it belongs to the earth element, which is grasped by our nose. All these 5 elements are processed at the emotional quotient at mind, intelligence at buddhi or knowledge, and the memory or the ego. these 5 elements plus mind, man, buddhi, ahankar. 3. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. It makes a Puryashtaka. We call in the Tantra as Puryashtaka. These 8 things, 5 indriyas, and man, buddhi, and ahankar. With this, our consciousness, sandhan, is connected. We are connected to the outside world by all these 8 elements. Another meaning of bhuta sandhan, of joining elements of the body by consciousness to improve our health. A real sadhaka can improve one's own health, and that is possible by the use of his own inner consciousness. Bhuta pruthakatva. So this, I'll give this example as we can separate our activities, like we can only listen to music and engrossed in the consciousness. In sightseeing, we are engrossed. Like that, we can separate these elements by the consciousness. Another meaning of bhuta pruthakatva means by removing the elements to heal the body by the consciousness. So this is now getting very popular nowadays. There's any of the, what we say, disease can be cured by thinking and establishing that disease can be cured very well by your own consciousness. The system, auto system is already there, but we must use, how to use, we must know. Vishva Samgatta. We can combine these elements to view universal consciousness as everything becomes a unity with Param Advait. For example, we can extend our body limits to the whole objective world by our inner consciousness. These 3 things happens by his Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and the result is Kriya Shakti. Now, I will explain Sutra number 21. Shuddha Vidya Udyat Chakreshvara Siddhi. When pure knowledge arises, then it gains the power of wheel of energies. First of all, we must know what is Shuddha Vidya. It means the yoga is pure by removing Maya impurities, karmic impurities, and Anava impurities. And then there is a surge of Shuddha Vidya, the pure knowledge, and he achieves the siddhi of the Chakreshwar. So the question comes, then what is Chakreshwar? Understanding and holding the power of wheel of energies, that is the goddess of consciousness, which has the power are of omnipotent, omniscient, eternity, omnipresence, that is all pervasiveness, beyond the time and space. So these powers are called as, in the yogi, as the Chakreshwar. The Chakreshwar can utilize this power by his freedom of will. This is called Aishwarya. Many yogis are utilizing these powers for individual benefit, such as predicting the results of examination, gain in a business, etc. Only a few utilize for the benefit of all such, getting rains or etc. for natural causes. But in my opinion, this power should not be used, and let the nature should do its own role without any interruption. So we should not interrupt in the role of the nature. active and the action and reaction is always there. So we should not plunge into all the display of power. That is my opinion. Sutra 22 says, Mahavruda Anusandhanat Mantra Virya Anubhava. You can recognize the power or the potency, that is virya of the mantra, only when you are connected, Anusandhanat, to the Supreme Consciousness. When this happens, you will realize that and understand the real meaning of the first sutra, which is Chaitanyam Atma. You can realize the importance of the mantra and its powerful effect only when you complete your sadhana and the aim is achieved. The next chapter of Upāya deals with mantra. I have been explaining the Śiva Sūtra at various places. As per the Vimarshini commentary written by Kshemarāja, the Vartika commentary of Bhaṭṭāraka is also on different line. The Śrī Vidya is based on the Mantra Shastra. I have selected Kshemarāja's commentary, Vimarshini. Bhaṭṭāraka Vartikas many a times explains on a yoga marga. The same has to be avoided by me for not to create the confusion between Tantra and Hatha Yoga. There, one should not be confused between the two. So, in my opinion, when we are discussing Tantra, the Tantra's way of looking should be there, because we are not in Hatha Yoga or this side of things. So, I do not mix both the things together. So, this is the end of the first chapter. So, Śiva Sūtra section of Śāmbhav Upāya is kept at the beginning because we must know the aim of our sadhana. After spending your precious time and labor, what you will get? Number one, you will understand who you are and the prime importance of your consciousness. Number two, what are the factors which do not allow you to reveal your original self? Number three, what are the impediments in your nature which restricts you to have your original self away from you? And the third and fourth is the essence of sadhana and its probable results are explained. So we can say the sun is covered in a cloud at a rainy season, still we get the light. In the same way, our consciousness hidden and we think that we are seeing the objects or listen the sound or we are touching, we are cherishing the taste and fragrance. An example of our body is the computer. So this way we are ending here, the first chapter. So should we take up question and answers or should we go ahead with the next chapter?
So Dada, you've just finished the first chapter. If there's any questions about the Śāmbhav, if you want to unmute your mic, you can go ahead and ask. If not, we can proceed with the second chapter. Dada, you mentioned about Bhaskar Raja. This Bhaskar Raja is not the same as Bhaskaraya, correct?
Bhaskaraya, see, this Bhaskara was at before a 10th century. So he is a different. And Bhaskaracharya, which we are calling, is a different person. This Bhaskara has written this Vrittika of Śiva Sūtra, whereas our Bhaskaracharya has written so many books on, say, we can say, on Śrī Vidya. That is Subhagodaya. He has interpreted, he has done this, Varivasya Rahasya. That person is different, quite different. It is not the same. One, our Bhaskaracharya, what we are telling is from south, and this Bhaskara is from Kashmir.
Okay.
So there is a quite difference.
Okay. Ganesh, did you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I have.
Please proceed.
Namaste, Balaji. So you were mentioning about using inner consciousness to avoid disease and all of that, right? Like, could you elaborate more on any practical techniques that we can try, practicing ourselves? And also, how do we deal with negative thoughts when they come in, right? Like typically when anxiety hits or when, you're just like distracted by negative thoughts, how do we deal with that?
The first question was number one. Just can you please repeat?
Using inner consciousness to fight against diseases.
Okay. So how to fight?
Mm-hmm.
So there are two ways. One, once you should be aware, but because when you are fighting, to whom you are fighting, you should know. Unless you know, how can you fight?
Mm-hmm.
So first, you have to ascertain what are the negative points or where you have to fight. And if you cannot ascertain that, then next level is in a computer we have got antivirus. In the same way, we have got antivirus mantras that will remove all the negativities and everything. So we have a Krama Diksha system. In this Krama Diksha system, the mantra itself will cure it. And knowingly or unknowingly, it will be cured automatically. But after its cure, you will realize that I have changed myself. Many of my disciples have told that I used to get so much angry, and now I have become so much calm. So that they have noticed that nature, and they have understood the differences. So this is the way. If you notice this before, better correct yourself. But if you can't notice it, if you don't know what is to be fought on, then our Krama Diksha mantras will help you. So in that case, if you want to, suppose you want to remove your, what we say, Batuk Bhairav mantra. Do you know how it works? Do you know?
Like the Apadudharana Vataka mantra, right?
So your fear is removed.
Mm-hmm.
What is apat? Apat is the fear.
Danger, yeah.
Danger. And fear complex is everywhere. Even a person is having a fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that fear, people are so much cautious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So all these different types of fear of loss of finance, fear of health, this fear is to be removed. So you don't know how to remove. So when you do Batuk Bhairav mantra, your fear will automatically be removed, and you will be out of all fear.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason. This is the remedy. So
Mm-hmm.
our Krama Diksha, even we have certain things that we don't get established in our business or a job or whatever it is. Then our Ganapati mantra is there. It will give you stability. So our mantra shastra gives all the techniques. Either you know yourself from the beginning that I want to remove this of the system, or that is I want to take out your fear, then you yourself may try. Or otherwise you want some, suppose if any disease is there and you want to remove, either you go to a doctor, or you can use your consciousness in supportive way. That, as I said, now by your consciousness, you can change the metabolism of your own body. So mantras will also act. So they are, sometimes they work as antivirus also.
Got it, got it. So if fear is the primary entity, I mean, like, apart from Vattaka, even like Vanadurga and even Varahi, they all specifically address the factor of fear, right? Like,
Yes, right, it is. So this is the reason how to come out. And that exactly this chapter 2 is concentrating on the mantras. How mantras are formed, what are the effects. And there are so many books on mantras and their powers and how it reacts. And as general mantras are also there for protection. People like protection. So we need that type of security. So I have experienced so much. I had problems sometimes. And I have used some mantras that has helped me. So this is the way we can take out our fear or any other thing by the use of mantras. And then you have to communicate to the Guru. Guru will guide and he will give the appropriate mantra. Because when we want to take medicine, we have to go to doctor. So like that, Guru will guide you on this, on the mantra way of removing all our problems.
Got it. And the other question was on similar lines, which is basically interest, right? Sometimes with years of practice of sadhana, sometimes the practice itself becomes so mechanical that 100% focus is not there. Like, especially when you chant, when you're trying to focus, all possible thoughts that distract you from focusing and hits your head, right? So how do we deal with such situations?
This is very common. So I had, I'll give an example. It is a discipline. If you go to a military, first they will teach you is a discipline. How you have to get command and you have to receive the order and execute it in a proper way. That is a discipline. Like a military, we have to do sadhana. So the mantras, when we are doing, the mind wanders. Because it is the behavior of a mind. Mind is always flickering. You will not have the end of thoughts. Thoughts after thoughts, they are coming. If you have read Chandi Path, there is a Rakta Bija.
Rakta Bija. I was just thinking of Rakta Bija. Yes.
So Rakta Bija is same. One goes, the other comes.
Yeah.
So this is the thought process. And it is the nature of our mind we have built ourselves, that it never remains calm and quiet. But mantra, if you do recite any mantra, mantra will not generate thought. So thought will generate another thought. But mantra will not generate another thought. Mantra will not have idea of it. It has no successive effect. It is you have to plant the mantra in between the two thoughts. So the thought will be broken. So here what we have to do, the better point you want to understand is to have the awareness of the mantra. how to have awareness of the mantra is there are 2-3 things. Each mantra has got deity. So either read the dhyanam of the deity or have the picture of the deity, have oneness with it, and the mantra itself is also a deity. So both with your, you say bhakti sadhana, or what you say, the bhakti and the conviction of that mantra, you merge in the mantra by your awareness. So whatever mantra you are doing, you should have awareness of it. Without awareness, if you do the mantra, it will not yield any result. So that next chapter of the Śiva Sūtra is clearly explaining this, how you have to do the mantra. I have seen some of the people, when I am giving lectures, people are just counting the mala. So that is not the way of doing the mantra. So many people, when you are there sitting in a temple, they just use the mala, seeing here and there, who is coming, who is going. So that should not happen. So there should be discipline. So discipline is required. You should sit at the one place. And the scripture says, not that I am saying, scripture says, you should do the mantra at the same time, same place, same seat. Suppose you are doing at a one place, at one time, every day. Then that seat will generate some power, and that power will utilize that seat. That was what we say, asana. That asana and the time of doing has to coincide. Then your mind will fix it on that. If you have observed a crow, if we are giving a crow something to eat at 10 o'clock, then every day it will come at 10 o'clock. So like that, we have to rhythm our own body clock. That mantra and your concentration will remain at that time, at the particular moment. And that will give you awareness of the mantra. And mantra is alive. So this is important. It's a very important question. Even while taking the mantra from the Guru, one should not have a fear, what will happen to me, how the mantra is given to me, and what will happen after mantra, or I'm so much happy. You should accept as it is given by the Guru with all the, you say, humiliation. Not humiliation, but humility. So you have to accept it as something precious thing you have got. And if you say this is the most precious thing, you will care for it. And with all your awareness and the efforts, you will achieve the powers of the mantra. Here we had said mantra virya. That is power of the mantra.
Got it. And are they to be ideally, to sort of create that awareness, are they to be chanted aloud or inside? Manana tayate the mantra, but because it's a fight internal, right? It's even more harder. If it's external fight, it is still, you have certain control. But because it's internal, the more you try to focus, the more the thoughts keep coming. So would the awareness increase if you chant aloud or like Upamshu?
Yeah, initially you should do it aloud. Loud mantra recitation, and that sound effect should be there, because ultimately the sound is there. So it will create a body. Mind is in the body. So mind control is done when you are doing the loud pronunciations of the mantra. And when body to mind, if you want to go, the next stage, then you have to do Upanshu. The next stage, not initially, but first you have to do for the loud mantra chanting, and that chanting will also help you to have a proper phonetic pronunciation and the vibrations that will create soundness in the body.
Got it.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
दादाजी नमस्ते, एक प्रश्न है.
Haji.
They say for some of the problems, the problem itself is a solution. So similarly, like in the Ashuddha Tattvas, from whatever little I have experienced, the mind is the problem. But for a lot of time, at least people who are in the initial sadhana like me, have to use the mind to get rid of the problem itself. But after some time, they realize that mind itself is the problem. So what is a way of identifying this early and giving the mind its place, but not allowing it to interfere or disturb the sadhana?
Yeah, it's a nice question. See, Lakshman Zo says very well. He says that when you are attached to body, there are problems. Suppose you say you are making a loss in the share market. And then you say, I'm finished. Suppose the house is burnt. You will say, I'm finished. But you are not finished. Your body is intact, your mind is intact, and your soul is intact. Only your belonging is gone. So, what we have total attachment to the things, and we get so much engrossed that it envelops the Maya, or so much that you get attached that this problem is a mind thing. So to understand this, it's very difficult, not that easy. You understood what I mean? That this is very difficult. Suppose you have lost a house in an earthquake. Then there is you say most of that trauma is there. To overcome that trauma, it takes 1, 2, or 3 years to establish. Always you recollect, I have lost. So all these things, it takes a time to understand. And after understanding, you will have a blessing that because of this problem happened to me, I could come out from the Maya, means attachment of that thing. That later on you will realize. So why sadhaka is getting so difficulty? Many of the people have asked me. The difficulties only teacher. All the sadhaka gets difficult. It's not so easy. And all the difficulties is teaching you that you are in Maya. You are attached. The moment you realize that this is Maya, means it is the boon to you, you are coming out of Maya. Bhagavad is giving this deliberately to come out of Maya. This is the reason.
How do we relate Maya and karma actually?
Your question, yeah, correct. Maya, we were calling.
Dadaji, so I get what you're trying to instruct me. I'm only trying to understand where do I switch the mind off? Because from what you say, till Mahikamala Shodhanartham, till I do that and the mind gets dissolved, I'm not going to see Devi. And this fellow is going to keep coming back till the last extent, till the last moment. He'll create a new Frikito Dega to put me back into wherever I. So, how do I befriend this fellow not to trouble me so much, but only come to that extent where he helps me and backs off? I'm just trying to figure that part out. For example, Dadaji, somebody asked me last week, I think I should be doing more of Panchadashi because Mahashodashi is taking me to Nivati Marg. So I was thinking you have been given Mahashodashi by the Guru, so he knows. So you go with that. Don't you make a choice now. But I understood where this person was coming from. My mind is fine. Maybe it is tuning me to be a sadhaka that my Guru wants me to and Devi wants me to progress. But how do I answer this question? So his question was valid from the mind using point. But if I say dissolve the mind and go only with Mahashodashi, the poor man won't get an answer. So I didn't know what to tell him. So my question basically came from that, Dadaji. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, this is a very good thing that we read a lot. We read a lot of books, and which mantra gives what and all that. What is Panchadashi gives, what Shodashi, Pravritti, Nivritti. When you are in the Tantra, ultimately, whatever Nivritti you want to take, you will come back as Pravritti after gaining your realization. It is not that after Buddha, we will just go for liberation and then stop it. We will not leave the body. We will come back. So that fear of that pravritti, nivritti should not be there, because this is pravritti is created by the Shiva. Nivritti is also created by Shiva. Both are balanced. It is a choice. And choice that our discretionary mind takes. So mind has got some fundas that this is good and this is bad. So it is very difficult that you arrive to answer. But actually, this is both are concepts. Nothing like pravritti, nothing like nivritti. Even sadhus cannot leave the world. They are still in the world. Can any sadhu say, I am out of world, means he is going out of the earth? We cannot. So these are concepts only. And even this Tejal has asked me, and I had told, these are the concepts of sadhana, that you are going up to Shiva is the nivritti, because we are going nivritti from your bad senses, or you are nivritti from getting nivritti from karmas. That now next question he will be asking me, and then you will also have a nivritti towards your Mahikmal, and you will have last nivritti of Anavamal. Last nivritti of Anavamal means Laguta. If that Laguta is overcome, that is total nivritti, is the Shiva state. Then after that Shiva state you realize, and after realizing this state, you come back with the knowledge of pravritti, with having the knowledge of nivritti of all bad things. Did you get the point? And another point, I'll tell you, it is better that I should tell you, if you take a Shodashi and the Panchadashi problems, if you want to explain. See, Panchadashi is powerful for, I would say, it is in our all conversations I had written what is the Panchadashi. It is 15 years Lalita Mahatripur Sundari, she gives all the things. She is not yet matured, so she will give all the pravritti. When she is in the Shodashi, she will get you out from all the impediments of that. Your brain has got so much layers of negativities and it is not it expanded. So you will get the mind expanded by Shodashi. So Shodashi is that way. It removes your impediments of the brain. That it nivritti in that sense. Not that you will live from the earth and go elsewhere in a moon or another planet. It's not that way. And I have come to one of the very good, it's good to explain this. Swaprakashanandanath. He was 100 years old. I had met him. He was a guru of that, what say, of Devi Puram. Devi Puram. Swaprakashanandanath, I have met him personally. And he was Avdut. And he used to give. And he told me also, he used to give at a time 10 mantras. And then he used to instruct. Whichever suits you, you do it. So it's really alarming in our mind. So every mind is made up of certain concepts and certain way of thinking. So all mantras doesn't suit them. Thank you.
Okay. Ganesh, did you have a question before we conclude today?
Yeah, I think I got most of the answers, but in the interest of time, I'll probably save it for later.
So that's why that gurus don't give sourcing too easily, right? As per Trump, it takes a while, a maturity.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's difficult.
It is. I think I agree with you as well. It is. It does take a lot out of you. I think it's very testing for most people who have martial arts. So, exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
I had a question.
Sure, we should.
Yeah.
Dada, you mentioned about the Sharasana, Siddhasana, and Virasana in the beginning. So I just was reading the other day and found a similar kind of classification of the asanas, but on a more physical level. The first kind of asana is made of the darbha, the grass which is used in the Vaidika ceremonies. The second is supposed to be either wool or made of deer skin, and the third is made of tiger skin. So does this classification correlate with the three asanas that you mentioned?
See, this is the preliminary. But if you go from higher up, if you are going for a general sadhana, it's good to have fixation of mind, and this categorization have been done. But I would say, in real sense, what is asana is of mind. Fixation of mind. As your answer was that you are having so many thoughts. If the thoughts are controlled, it is a first asana. Sarasana, sar is what? One-pointedness. Sarasana. What is the sarasana? Darbha. You have seen darbha?
Yeah, the grass.
It has one point on it. At one side, there is a point. That is one-pointedness of the mind it represents. And then next is what we call Sarasana, Siddhasana. When your one-pointedness is fixed, you get the siddhi of it. Then the thoughts doesn't come to you. That is a siddhi. And then after that, you get the self-realization is the virasana. So these are in real sense, it has to be taken like this. But you can do sadhana on any of the asana, it doesn't matter.
All right.
So it is only our mental concept.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you, Vishwajit. Okay, I think we've answered all the questions. It was a wonderful session, Dada. Thank you. From next week, we'll be starting the second chapter. Okay, fine. A big thank you to you, Dada. Jai Ambe, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Jai Ambe, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, Dada.
Yeah.